You ever wake up to a brick flying through your window, like an honest-to-God brick with a scribbled note taped on? Get out before the view is ruined forever. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but I gotta say it'll wake you up faster than any pot of diner coffee. Black, no sugar. That's how my war started. No slow build-up. No warning. Just a threat hurled straight through glass and a piece of my peace and quiet. All because I had the crazy idea to build my dream home above the clouds. Just sky, pines, and silence. I mean, I didn't haul myself all the way from the noise of Chicago to Washington State just to get pushed around by some beige-loving neighborhood overlords with clipboards and matching hats. You know what I mean? So yeah, I had 5 untouched acres, real, deeded, full ownership up on a ridge where the fog rolls in every morning and you can feel the cold air right in your bones. Not a single HOA covenant, not a nosy neighbor in shouting distance. I wanted an observatory house, clean lines, energy efficient, a place where you could lie on the roof and watch the Milky Way spill across the sky. 2 weeks, 2 perfect weeks. It was just me and the hawks and a mug of coffee, walking the ridgeline, breathing in freedom. But right down the slope, you had Crestwood Heights, a place where every house looks like it rolled off the same assembly line. Lawns clipped short as military haircuts, white trim, matching shutters, a parade of SUVs. Their world, not mine, and that's just how I liked it. Then one afternoon, out rolls this shiny SUV, crawling up my drive like it owns the place, and out steps Karen Liebauer. Yeah, with a helmet blonde bob, sunglasses you could land a plane on, and a grin so practiced you'd swear she was about to try to sell me a timeshare. She says, "Good afternoon. I'm here because several residents are concerned," and I just had to stop myself from laughing. "Sure you are, Karen." She tells me my house will ruin their valley views. Never mind, I'm 100 yards outside their jurisdiction, and starts in on her architectural review committee, offering to help me with my design. I said as polite as I could manage, "My land, my house, my business." Her smile faded just enough to show a crack, but she kept the act, turned on her heel, and left with her tires spitting dust like a dragon headed back to her cave. Foolish me, I hoped that'd be the end. Next morning, I come up the drive and find my road blocked. Trash bags, cinder blocks, some sad, dead Christmas tree that smelled like it had been marinating in wet dog. The lot was scattered with chunks of concrete like a bomb went off. Honestly, I was angry, but I had to laugh. This was their idea of negotiation. They hadn't counted on me installing cameras before I ever broke ground. So, wouldn't you know it, caught 3 Crestwood landscaping goons, all wearing their little company patches, helping themselves to a night of sabotage. Called the sheriff right away. Deputy showed up, took one look at the footage, and just shook his head. That's when it really hit me. This wasn't about a house or a view. It was about power, about the audacity of someone not bowing to the HOA. Independence, turns out, is a felony in Crestwood Heights. A couple days later, I get a thick envelope in the mail, Crestwood Heights Homeowners Association Legal Affairs Committee. You ever get a letter so dense you can smell the lawyer's cologne on it? They claimed my house violated protected sight lines and collective scenic harmony, demanded I chop 2 floors off, repaint the frame taupe of all colors, and, get this, pay $450,000 in aesthetic damages. Legalese thicker than day-old oatmeal, but the message was clear: we don't like your house, so we're going to bury you. Their whole argument was built on this idea that the scenic view belonged to everybody, except legally, it didn't. So I drove down to Olympia, straight into the office of Riley Lim, property law bulldog. Sharp as her tie, sharper than her tongue. She reads the whole packet, doesn't even blink. Says they're full of it. You're so far outside their jurisdiction, you might as well be in Idaho. She whips up a cease and desist letter, tells me their lawsuit is a bluff, and promises if they try anything else, we'll bury them right back. I thought, okay, that'll be it. But you ever poke an HOA? It's like kicking a wasp's nest. 3 days later, another letter. This time, they want mediation. Means I'd have to halt construction, sit down for a design review, and consider transferring the upper part of my lot to Crestwood for a nominal fee to preserve communal integrity. I nearly choked on my sandwich when I read that. Riley laughed, then got real serious. They want your ridge, she said. It's a shakedown. We had every deed, every survey, every title, everything proving their HOA line was 2 football fields away. Riley filed a motion to dismiss and demanded they pay my legal fees. But these folks didn't quit. Somebody poured beige paint, yeah, beige of course, over my private property sign. Next day, a notice nailed to my gate. Crestwood had passed a boundary enhancement for visual protection purposes, claiming a new buffer zone that just happened to include my entire hillside. There was even a welcome packet and an invoice for $9,000 in backdated dues plus penalties for noncompliance, unapproved colors, excessive angularity. They get creative with these, and failure to submit elevation plans. Sent it all to Riley. She just about fell out of her chair laughing. This is civil suicide, she said. They're trying to manufacture jurisdiction with paperwork. It's fraud, but something didn't sit right. So I started digging. County records, HOA filings, board minutes, old zoning proposals. Found out their annexation language was copy-pasted from a failed zoning bid 8 years ago. Half the signatures? Folks who'd moved away or died. One woman gone since 2021 supposedly voted for this. And the real kicker, Karen's husband Randall ran Blue Oak Development, the same company that always ended up buying Crestwood houses after the HOA fined the owners out of them. This wasn't about views, this was a land grab. That night, I found stakes with pink ribbons hammered along my property line, someone marking their new territory. Didn't sleep much. Around midnight, there's a crash. I run outside, heart pounding, and find that brick on my deck, note taped to it. Get out before the view is ruined forever. Cameras catch a Crestwood uniform slipping through the trees, tossing the brick, sprinting off. I call the sheriff. This time, they send 2 deputies. Vandalism turned into intimidation, and suddenly, it's serious. But if you think that made the HOA back off, you don't know these people. Next morning, 2 guys in Crestwood groundskeeper uniforms show up, clipboard, laser level, claiming they need to inspect my house for visual elevation ordinances. I tell them there's no such law out here, and if they point that laser inside my house again, I'll call it trespassing. They scuttle off, heads down. That night, I hired private security, cameras, sensors, all of it. Couple nights later, a Crestwood landscaper tries to sabotage my geothermal cooling system. Caught him on camera, too. He ran when a sheriff rolled up, left behind a tool bag stuffed with grout and wire cutters. Enough to wreck the whole system. Now the investigation was criminal. Riley filed an injunction. No more contact, no more threats. But the harassment just ramped up. Fresh invoices, new threats, warnings of forfeiture, whatever that meant. It was personal now. Riley says, let's get a reporter. Calls in Nathan Kane, a Seattle freelancer with a 6th sense for HOA corruption. Nathan shows up, camera bag in hand, and just starts digging. Within days, Nathan uncovers a pattern. 5 neighboring properties, all changed hands after phony violations, intimidation, lawsuits. Randall's LLC always scooped up the land. Nathan tracks down a retired schoolteacher, Evelyn, who'd lost her home the same way. 2 ex-board members admit Karen rigged votes. Randall grabbed contracts. Anyone who fought back either sold out or got crushed. Then Nathan gets a leak, a pile of Crestwood internal emails. Karen herself writing about clearing the ridge, calling me a priority target. He'll fold like the others, she writes. The story blows up. Local news, radio, Facebook groups. Suddenly Crestwood Heights is in panic mode. A couple from down the hill bring me screenshots from a secret HOA group. Karen sneering, some people buy land, others belong. The masks were off. Crestwood doubles down, tries going through the county. Fake violation complaints, a bogus utility audit, even a power outage. Turn out, someone tampered with my backup generator. Then they contaminated my geothermal reservoir, tried to kill my project from the inside. That's when I stopped reacting and started counterattacking. I upgraded surveillance, drones, motion sensors, everything. Riley filed for a restraining order. State officials started sniffing around Randall's LLC for fraud. Nathan's second story drops, interactive maps, whistleblower tips, timelines. Suddenly, I'm getting burner emails, scanned memos, tips about bribes, even a mysterious box left at my gate, shredded documents, a burned-out USB stick, and an aerial photo of my half-built house with a big red X over it. No note needed. They wanted me gone, and they were losing control. The final twist? Karen goes full public, holds a community standard summit, rants into a microphone about reclaiming my land, caught on video for everyone to see, calls my place an unpermitted eyesore. Riley just smiles and adds it to our case. More documents start pouring in, emails about targeting non-HOA parcels, falsified agreements, spreadsheets with shady expenses, security consultations, ridge parcel permit synchronization. We subpoena the county. Turns out Randall's cousin had been tampering with my filings from the inside. It was all a setup from the very start. The night before court, Crestwood tries one last stunt. Sends a crew to sabotage my cameras and irrigation. One of them slips, breaks his ankle. Turns out he's the landscaping supervisor. Deputies arrest him, evidence right in his backpack. That's the last nail in the coffin. Next day, we walk into court. Feels like stepping into a war zone. My mouth's dry. I can feel every muscle in my back tensed up. Judge Carroll is stone-faced. Riley lays it all out. Maps, deeds, emails, the public video of Karen's threat, spreadsheets, fake filings. Crestwood's lawyer waves around some psychological study about the health benefits of pretty views, like that's going to save them. The judge? Not impressed. Then Riley drops the whistleblower files, audio of Karen and Randall plotting, written plans for taking over private property. Dead silence in the courtroom. Judge Carroll grants our injunction, bars Crestwood from any action against me or my land, refers the case to the state attorney for criminal charges. Karen goes pale. Randall looks like he swallowed a lemon whole. After that, the dominoes fell. County and state investigators swoop in. Randall gets picked up for fraud and bribery. Karen for harassment and conspiracy. The board resigns. The HOA is put under court control. Half the neighborhood calls to dissolve the whole mess. And me? I go back to building. 3 months later, my house stands tall. 3 stories. Timber and steel, geothermal cooled, rooftop observatory with a view you can't buy anywhere else. One evening, I'm up there, glass of wine in hand, looking down at Crestwood's perfect little streets, just a memory now of failed ambition and a bunch of busybodies who thought they could write my story. I won because I refused to fold, refused to let anyone else decide what freedom looks like. And just to make sure nobody forgot, I set a stone marker at the end of my drive, facing their way. Freedom is not an eyesore. Neither is light. Now, I gotta ask, what would you have done if the HOA came after your sky? Where do you draw the line between community and control? Drop your wildest HOA horror story or your idea of justice in the comments. Like, share, argue. I want to hear it all.